Hello and welcome to Warp Factor Unknown, the podcast where we delve into the world of Star Trek for an unpredictable rewatch and discussion. I'm your host Dan, and joining me today is a guest co-host, Jacob, who's been revising his rules of acquisition.
Rules of acquisition? What's that from? Like,
You don't know the rules of acquisition?
No, just tell me. Remind me of what it was. Cause...
The Ferengi, they have these.
Oh,
these have these
yes,
like guide.
Of course, a Ferengi. Yeah,
they have the guiding rules.
Yeah. So what's number 34?
I ain't got a clue. You have to ask Google on that. Yeah, but it's things like, it's like Rule 34. There is profit in peace.
No,
Rule 34, war is good for business. Rule 35, peace is good for business.
Yeah.
It's really funny.
Yeah. I remember now. I think I didn't. I swear, many years ago we spent a while sitting down and went through all the rules at some point.
Quite possibly. There's not actually like a full list anywhere, but anyway.
Yes.
Hello, Jacob.
Hi, I'm back.
We're doing some bonus episoding today, mostly because Tom's not available, scheduling, adult lifing, all that stuff, but Jacob is around for the festive season, so here we are. Today, we are talking about the Star Trek Next Generation episode, Consipracy, Season 1, Episode 25. Now, you may be wondering, listener, hang on, I didn't hear about we didn't do an episode selection. What happened? Oh my god. Same thing, adult lives, trying to like squeeze things in. Me and Jacob, we did the episode selection, I'm going to say off camera, off microphone. It just made life easier. So, yeah, bonus episode. What does that mean? Obviously, we haven't got Tom here. We want to do things a little bit different today, slightly. Want to sort of spice things up with the selection bit. I know you guys weren't here with the selection bit, but I gave Jacob a choice. I said to Jacob that he could choose the show, the season, or the episode. So and in this case, Jacob said, I will choose the episode. So we randomly selected a show, TNG. We randomly selected season 1. And then Jacob got to choose an episode from season 1 of TNG. And there was a bit of back and forth because your initial choice was Encounter at Farpoint, wasn't it?
Yes. So this season is wild.
It is.
This is a wild season to come back to. Like, having watched everything afterwards, because when I first started getting back into Star Trek, again, I mentioned this in the previous bonus episode last season, go check it out.
It's really good.
Yeah. I talk about how I got into it, and in this, having when you start with it, you always are like, ooh, this is a bit old and it's clunky and things don't make any sense, but then you go watch the rest of Star Trek and you come back and then you're just like, wow, this is so good, but so early days, because it's wild, the storylines, and there's so much different variety from episode to episode. It's honestly crazy. We got
a season 1 and I was looking over this, and obviously I wasn't choosing the episode, you was, but I was like, I would choose this one. I was like, there are some really interesting episodes to talk about.
I could have given you 6.
Yeah, there was like
for this podcast, to just talk about
actually fantastic.
Like hours. It was
So anyway, so that's what we did. We had a bit more randomness to our. Well, it was kind of randomness. It kind of wasn't. It was a bit different, just for a bonus episode.
Defines the point of a bonus episode. We can
a
bit different.
Exactly. Yeah, we experiment a little bit,
a
bit with the format slightly. So that's the episode we got. So if you do want to go watch it, you can take a pause, come back. We'll wait for you. Don't worry. Go watch it or don't. We are going to do a quick little recap. However, again, adult life. I have not prepared a recap to do. So I think between me and Jacob, we're just going to try and wing it and remind you of the episode. Jacob, do you want to take it to have a start? Take it away.
I'm going to keep this a bit we're not going to go
detail.
We're going to, because again, dear listeners, this is a conspiracy episode. Therefore, if you are not going to watch it, or you don't want to spoil yourself, right? So
exactly.
If we want to do a synopsis, we'll just introductions of what was going to happen.
The synopsis is just to give the listeners who haven't watched it enough information to go on like what it's roughly about, or just to remind them, oh yeah, I watched that one like 10 years ago. I remember what that's about. I remember that episode.
So we start out on the Enterprise, casual chit-chats amongst the crew. A very nice, pointed moment with Data becoming a little bit more human. The date, Stardate 41775.5.
God, you got the star date.
They are on their way to the Drylax. It's to Pangea. Or
They're going somewhere to do something
yes,
nonsense.
It's going to Pacifica. That's
Pacifica.
it. I knew I'd remember it. It's going to Pacifica for some mission, trade, envoy, such. Then Picard receives a very mysterious communique from a dear old friend. He tells him to go to Drylax B. Now, this is a dead planet, and he said, don't tell anyone that we're going there.
Super secret.
Very secret. Don't even tell the crew. Not even Riker was informed.
Mm.
They then go to the system. He beams down alone, much to the suspicion and disbelief, I guess, of the rest of the crew.
Yeah.
He then meets with 3 captains, including his friend Walker.
Yeah.
They then discuss that the Federation is under attack by some unknown force.
There is a conspiracy.
There is a conspiracy. And then that is the synopsis of the episode. Will they find out who it is? Will they investigate?
Well,
will they stop the invasion?
I'm gonna carry you on there, Jacob. We do actually tend to go on the whole thing. So yeah, after Picard learns about the conspiracy, they're sort of going to resume their mission, but keep his ear to the ground. But then shortly after, they find that Walker's ship has been destroyed, and Picard is like, "Oh no, there's something to this conspiracy." So they head back to Earth, do some chit-chatting with some admirals who may or may not be suspicious. Turns out, yes, they are actually suspicious. There is a conspiracy. Picard, Riker save the day. There's some phasers. This is the episode. It's quite infamous with the quite like the gory scene. They shoot a guy in the head.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that.
We're going to talk about that, yeah. And there's like an alien thing, bug in his chest, like a thing. And yeah, but that's kind of the episode. I think hopefully that's enough for you to go on. And I'm so sorry for the lackluster synopsis.
We try hard on this podcast.
We really try hard. You have come to top quality content, really professional.
Hey, I have a very thorough review and opinion on this episode. I think we can...
Yeah, I mean, obviously, also, yeah, our chat will also enlighten you, I think, about what we're doing now. Yeah, I've got a bunch of notes, but also, if you want to take it away... Do you want to start us in like the intro scene? I've got a couple of notes in that bit.
Top-down, general thing, and I've got some questions you could probably answer. You're more knowledgeable about Star Trek.
Don't test me.
Yeah, I'm going to test you. So, this is episode 25.
Mm-hmm.
It plays like a final episode. But yet, there's another episode after this, 26, which is about cryogenics, like these 3 people being frozen in a satellite.
I like that episode, yes, good episode.
Why is this not the finale?
Okay, so I don't know, but I do know that these aliens, this conspiracy, this thing, they were supposed to be the big bad of TNG, along with the Ferengi. The Ferengi are also supposed to be like a recurring enemy, but they both just didn't land well. I don't know if it was the studio or the audience, so they both got pushed back. And then we had like the Klingons and the Romulans became like a recurring enemy, and then the Borg with a recurring like threat. Way better.
You mean the Ferengi with the electro whips?
Yeah, who were
was
crap.
not testing well with audiences.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But obviously the Ferengi are amazing in DS9, just not so much in TNG.
So I find that strange because I actually, having watched this again after a long time, quite liked it a lot. I liked the bug aspect, and I think really, and they set it up so much of like they're coming back, and it just never happens again.
I know,
and I actually quite like this as a baddie. I mean, it's very non like.
I mean, they might come back in some other form of Star Trek. They might do it better.
I mean, it's much more body horror to what Star Trek's used to, but I love the idea.
Yeah,
and they set up so much in this episode.
They do, but it goes nowhere. Yeah,
just gone forever.
Yeah,
strange,
and it does reference. This episode references a previous episode where Picard had spoken to one of his admirals previously, and he'd said about a conspiracy. I don't remember which episode that was.
It's mid-season, I believe. Yeah, off the top of my head.
Yeah.
Because the what's the name of the bug? Mother bug.
Oh, I don't know.
It was. I had it written here. It was
Mothra. Had I?
No, it's Rimmick. That was
no,
it.
that's the commander. That's the human host.
Sure, that's the commander.
Yeah, that's the human host.
That's
not the alien. Human host.
The ensign guy who had the.
Yeah, that's him. That's the name, not the alien.
Yeah. The alien has no name.
No.
and they don't even say where it comes from.
No, just some unknown region of space.
And even at the end, they're like, the beam is going into some unknown mapped region of the galaxy. We don't know why.
Yeah, like, no, it definitely, you're right. It was I quite enjoyed the episode, and it could have developed into a pretty cool, like, alien threat. But hindsight, the Borg are better.
Yeah, the Borg are better.
The Borg are better.
But that's just, it's the Borg.
Hindsight, isn't it? Yeah.
But I think, at least for me, with hindsight, I think these alien species could have really played off quite well, actually. It's why I was just surprised that they never, not even in modern Trek, that they decided to bring it back at all.
I mean, I guess while we're talking about this, so this episode would have come out in, or at least been shot and developed, 89, I think. I think season 1 came out 89, I'm almost certain. Because these aliens are basically the Goa'uld from Stargate. So my question, I meant to look and I forgot to.
What, when the first Stargate
Yeah, when
film?
did Stargate come out?
Well, okay, so the thing is, Stargate film...
Yeah, it's
that
awesome.
Was around about the same time, and it is cool, but the idea of them being like
alien,
like
a worm thing.
Yeah, because it said that they sort of infect the host and then they control them, but there was never, I don't remember there ever being like an alien. I mean, there's a weird shot where in that film, it like, as he's detonating, you kind of see his exoskeleton inside the human, which is, so they clearly hadn't developed.
No, okay.
Well, in the TV show where it's like, it's a worm in somebody's brain.
So it wouldn't be until SG-1. So when did SG-1 come out?
No, because that was in, was it 91?
I don't know. So what we're saying is that Stargate took inspiration from TNG, and that's how we got these aliens, because they're basically the same.
I wouldn't say that's true.
But they are. It is a worm infecting or taking over a human host.
I mean, there must be a million things. Actual alien movies.
Well, that's kind of different. They're just using like an egg, like an egg sac.
Starship Troopers, the brain bug.
Starship is much. That was like 97, 98, isn't it? Starship Troopers.
Is it? Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's a wonderful film.
This region is full of sci-fi.
No idea. We don't know. So, listeners, if you know,
put in the comments below.
Yeah, what came first? Was TNG episode or SG-1 or any other sci-fi?
Where could they have been inspired? Who inspired who, and where was it inspired from?
Oh yes, it's quite likely not an original.
Not inspired by the
idea.
actual design of the alien, because the alien design of the small infecting bug was poor, and the stop motion was hilarious to watch. But the idea of concept.
Yeah, no, totally. Yeah. Like when you look at when you watch like old TV shows, especially more like the original series or early TNG, you have to sort of suspend your disbelief somewhat. Yeah. Okay, I want to take us back. Oh, take us to the opening scene on the bridge. Yes. You mentioned it with like Data was joking around. Geordi, you don't quite hear the full joke that Geordi sent to Data.
I was going to say, do you find it funny?
Well, no, but if you don't hear the full joke, but also what you can imply, it's some kind of sex joke.
It's about hologram and moonlight or something.
I can't. I should have written down what the actual quote was, what the joke was. But I interpreted it as like a sex joke, or at least like an adult joke. And I was like, you should not be telling that on the bridge with your CO just there. Like, I mean, Geordi already has at this point. Later on, Geordi gets developed to have some sort of, I guess, issues around the romance department, should we say?
Oh, yeah.
This doesn't start, it's not boding well for Geordi so far, is it?
Well, that's probably why he failed so much with the technician woman.
Laura Brahms,
Yeah, Brahms.
Oh, Leah Brahms, yeah.
Brahms.
Maybe that's why they put him in engineering. It's like, oh, this guy is so awkward on the bridge. Get him off the bridge, get him in engineering.
Was he wearing yellow, or was he wearing red?
We don't know. This is like before like actual.
Because they haven't assigned the colours correctly at this point.
Well, no, I think like their roles haven't been like properly assigned. So obviously, Geordi's on helm. He shouldn't be on helm. He should be in engineering. Worf is on tactical. That's because Tashiar's dead. He's wearing red. Yeah, security red. Yeah. He should be gold, shouldn't he?
Yeah, the credit. Yeah, he should be gold.
Yeah.
And I think he is from season 2 onwards. But also, Tashiar's still in the credits.
That's probably like a contractual thing, I would assume. Don't know. We don't know. But okay, so yeah, Geordi doing sex jokes, or at least inappropriate jokes.
At the start, there was a good comment by Worf. I think he makes a statement or a joke, swimming like a battery or something.
About Pacifica.
Yeah, it was.
He doesn't like bathing.
Yes, that was it. He doesn't like bathing. It's too much like swimming in the sea is something too much like bathing or something.
Yeah,
I thought that was good. That's very Worf.
It's a very Worf thing to say because obviously he only goes in water for hygiene, which I guess kind of makes sense. But I don't know. I like the idea. The sound of Pacifica sounds quite nice,
What is it? It sounds like a beach. It's like
A beach planet.
Is this just
Hawaii in space?
What's the sex planet?
Oh, Riser.
Riser. Is this just pre-Riser?
Yeah. They wanted like a holiday destination, which I guess I'd be happy to go.
Unfortunately, we don't hear much more about that.
No, I wonder if it ever comes up again. I expect Riser just.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Pacifica reminds me too much of like in Cyberpunk 2077. There is a place called Pacifica.
Is it really? Is it like a bar? Is it?
Oh no, it's like a region. So
okay.
Just kind of all.
Okay.
Yeah. What we got here? So, who was the admiral? Who's his friend?
I don't know. We obviously in this episode and the previous episode.
I'm just pointing out when he goes down to the planet in Trilux B.
They're captains. Captains Walk.
They're all captains.
Yes, they're all captains.
Yeah. There's 3 questions he asks him.
Oh shit. It was where do we first meet?
Yeah.
It's like who's my brother, or who introduced my brother to my.
Who introduced Crusher
to
Beverly?
Beverly, that was it. Yeah, to whoever his name was.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then something about brother. He hasn't got
brother and sister. And it's like no, they didn't exist.
Yeah.
Well done.
Yeah.
Well done.
So okay, Jacob, when did we first meet? Where did we first meet? It was at
community college.
It was at college.
Yeah.
I could take a stab at a dark of a year. Like movies and TV series do people have really memories, and I ain't got a clue.
No, they've all logged it down, right? Surely in
in Star log.
It's in my Star log.
Yeah,
so I'd have to record my Star log.
In the 24th century, everyone's logging.
Well, that's the thing is you can imagine before Picard goes down, he's in Stardate, blah 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 blah. I'm going to meet Captain Walker. I remember our time when we did the, we were inseparable. He was my best mate. And then I introduced him to Beverly Crusher, and I regretted it later on.
I cock-blocked myself.
Is this before or after I got stabbed by the alien?
Oh, the Norkscan.
The Norkscan.
Oh, yeah.
That's a good point. Is he actually in the bar? Because they said they were friends at Starfleet Academy.
Oh, you'd have to watch an episode where Q makes Picard young again.
And it's whether Walker is the...
Do you know, if Walker is in the episode where Q sends Picard back, that's a really good continuity.
That's what I mean.
That'd be great.
That's what I mean.
That'd be amazing. Yeah.
Do they keep that continuity?
Oh, man, that'd be great. I hope they do. I have a question. So just before they get to the planet, and Picard gets that, secret subspace message, a code 47...
I was going to ask you, do you know define code 47?
All I could think of was Agent 47, but I couldn't... I had some questions about it. I was like, so there's a channel that captains can use to secretly communicate with each other. Because in Star Trek, communication is very open.
Yeah.
They do these personal logs. Later in the episode, Data is scouring through all official orders over the last 6 months. Everything is really open. So it feels kind of weird if it was a private communication that these captains can use that there's no record of.
Well, it's designated code 47. Do you reckon that's a code between the two of them?
I got the impression it is like an official
channel.
Yeah,
that's the impression you
get. It's using in emergencies. But I was like, this is
right for abuse.
Yeah, if you was gonna plan a coup in the Federation,
easy.
Yeah, well easy.
We're gonna have a coup, code 47.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I had some I feel like that wasn't a very well thought out.
At least in later Trek, everyone's just instead we can't trust anyone.
Yeah.
We're not going to tell anyone.
Yeah.
So, you're right. Yeah, never thought about that.
These little observations.
I want to know what the other codes mean.
Yeah, what's code 42?
Yeah. The life, meaning for life, universe, and everything.
Yeah.
Code 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, what are these other codes? Yeah.
Why do we have to get to 47, that's the secret one?
Yeah, I also like that, Data receives a code 47. Data. And Riker goes, confirm. It's you're talking to Data. Data knows. Data does not make mistakes like that.
Does not misread.
Exactly, he doesn't misread. Okay. Ditalic B. Now here's a
is it Dilax B? Dilax. How do you pronounce it? Am I pronouncing it wrong?
I took it as Ditalics, but maybe I'm wrong.
D-Y-T... Sorry, this is a spelling podcast now.
Yeah.
Ditallix.
Ditalic?
Ditalax?
That planet.
That planet.
Again,
fine, they were there for 5 minutes.
Yeah. But I have a question around this. It was a mining planet, and it's now derelict. And it was mined by the Ditalics or whatever. The Ditalics mining company. Are there companies in the Federation.
planets.
I thought we were a post-scarcity society,
Yeah.
which doesn't mean you can't have companies because not everything will be state-controlled. But it just kind of like didn't. I was like, wait, are there companies?
Did they say it was explicitly Federation?
Well, they don't. They just said the Ditalex mining company. They didn't say Federation, but
Could have
it's
been another planet.
we're implied we're in Federation space. And I was like,
suspicious.
yeah, I was like,
Maybe they should investigate that.
yeah, that's really interesting.
Corporate essence, ecological disaster as well, because the entire planet is destroyed.
It all is, yeah, it was, and there's no life in there, and also they left all this like mining junk there. It is a mess. Like
That's also isn't that a violation of the you're leaving technologically superior items like.
well, yeah, anybody could find that, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
So
this is a violation of the.
So if this is a company that operates within the Federation's sort of purview, then they are breaking a few rules. But I thought it's fascinating that it does make sense that the Federation would have companies because it couldn't all just be state run. Or maybe, I guess it could.
Well, you pay them in dilithium.
Well, that was it.
Dilithium is mined anyway,
That's
right?
kind of it because there's no.
Why would that company in DS9 use the hologram doctor to mine dilithium?
Well, mining. So they still need to like mine raw resources, don't they? But I don't. Yeah, I don't know. There's questions here.
This is early season 1.
Yeah, it's obviously not established, and we're just poking holes in it. But I just thought it was interesting that there's companies in Star Trek, and it doesn't quite compute Starfleet and Federation with companies. I don't know. Anyway,
well, I don't see what the thing is in a system such as theirs. I don't understand what a company can bring that the state can't provide.
Exactly.
Like if the state has basically built starship fleet and command structure on a military level which spans across a quarter of the galaxy, you think they can mine a bit of dilithium or whatever they're mining.
They can, but I guess like even within this post-scarcity society, there are still going to be things that the state, the Federation, cannot provide or doesn't provide, so that some entrepreneur will fill that gap. There's always going to be. They can't do everything. Surely.
And maybe it's more that they're doing it because they can trade a resource that the Federation produces, and then because there's no money, right?
No.
I mean, gold pressed latinum, but
that's not
don't
officially
make it.
used in. Oh, it's kind of when we get to DS9.
There's no gold pressed latinum at all in
the Federation,
TNG, right?
I don't think so.
It's not even mentioned.
I don't think so. But it's heavily mentioned in DS9.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know.
Now I have
please.
That set on the planet. Do you recognise the set?
No, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's been reused, if we've seen that cave before.
I think, and I could be wrong, it's the set from the first episode with the crystalline entity.
Oh, yeah.
Where they discover Data. Because it has that sort of crater with the ramp that comes down and they go and find Data.
Do they discover?
Yeah, because they go down to the planet.
Yeah.
And there's a crystalline entity. I just remember there's a shot where you have that section where they sort of blue screen, green screen, crystalline entity passing across the top.
Maybe.
And Data was in this area.
Yeah.
Which is a nice wraparound because Data has a lot of growth development points in this episode. So, what I was going to mention here was one thing I forgot to bring up at the beginning was the intro.
Oh, yeah.
It's different to the rest of the season.
What do you mean the opening credits?
The opening credits.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it changes from season 1 to season 2.
Oh, does it?
Or is it season 2 to season 3? Like, basically later on, because you get that, space, the final frontier.
Oh, yeah.
And these are the Star Trek Enterprise.
Yeah.
But the shots, because one of the shots in season 1 is where you actually have it zooms out Earth Moon and zooms away from the solar system.
Oh, it does.
Which it doesn't do in later seasons. Instead, you actually just zoom into a nebula in the sky, and then you just see the Enterprise just zooms by and goes.
That's cool. Good catch. I didn't know that.
So I was just wondering what you thought. Which intro do you prefer?
I don't know. I didn't realize that was a thing. I mean, probably the later one because it's the one I've seen the most. Yeah. So familiarity, I suppose.
It was refreshing to go back and see it, but yeah, the later one.
Those captains on the planet, on the Ditalex B, whatever it was.
Ditalex. No, that's a T.
Ditalex B. Yeah. The Bolian guy, I think he was great. He was like...
He was really good.
He was almost a bit sinister, and I was like, kind of a bit... he seemed like a really good captain, but I don't think I'd want to work for him. He seems like a bit of a prick in some ways.
Can you name the ships?
I can, actually, because I actually read. So we have the USS Renegade,
Yep.
USS Thomas Paine, and Horatio.
Well done.
'Cause
3 out of 3 stars.
I looked them up because I'm always interested in like Star Trek ships. And the first two, the Renegade and the Thomas Paine, were just like they're not mentioned again.
I was going to say, what class
Yeah.
are they?
I can't. I think Memory Alpha did say, but I can't remember. But anyway, the Horatio, that one is
They're
actually
not Galaxy class.
no. The Horatio is the biggest, and it's an Armada class an Armada class. Yes, I think so. And we do see that a couple of times throughout Star Trek. It's a pretty decent ship, pretty cool.
Okay. I actually don't, off the top of my head, I don't know what it looks like.
It looks.
It's not like Lower Decks. Lower Decks.
That's a California class. No, it looks a little bit like a chunkier. I'm just remembering off the top of my head, like a chunkier, meatier version of the Constitution class, like Kirk's Enterprise, like a.
Okay, so it's a bit more retro.
Yeah, I think. Watch the fans blow up. How dare you compare Captain Kirk's ship?
Oh my god!
Yeah. Okay, do you have anything else on like the planet or those captains before we go back to the ship?
Actually, one of my questions which you already answered.
Oh, please.
Captain Rix.
Yes.
Alien. What species? So do we actually see any species again?
Yeah. Yes, Spolians. We see them quite a few times in TNG.
They're different. They're different because they're more blue.
Yeah, I assume it's just like a makeuping, like it's supposed to be this, but it kind of maybe he's not a Bolian. He looks Bolian.
Yeah. It was good.
Yeah.
It definitely was good.
Sort of like we can get black humans and Asian humans. You know what I mean? In the same as like Andorians, colours, you get blue Andorians, you get white Andorians.
Do you really?
Yeah.
So which one was
Jeffrey Coombs? He was a blue Andorian.
Blue Andorian.
Yeah, he's great.
Probably multiple though.
Shran from Enterprise. I know you're not a big Enterprise fan. Best character in all of Star Trek.
Who?
The Jeffrey Coombs Andorian from Enterprise. What was the other captain's name? I didn't get her name.
She was the aspiring woman.
No, she'd made captain really young, hadn't she?
Yeah, like younger than anyone else in Starfleet.
Yeah.
I cannot remember. I got Rix. I think it was Walker was the other one, and my name.
Yeah, I didn't know who. I only remember Walker's name because he's mentioned a few times.
Yeah.
The other two, no idea.
Yeah. They mentioned Starbase 12.
Yeah. No idea about that.
No
idea. Just a generic
Probably
Starbase.
Never mentioned again.
Maybe it is.
Now, one thing I wanted to question here. It's going to be some warp factor knowledge.
Oh, here we go.
And they're on their way to Pacifica. They first are going warp 7.
Oh, yeah.
But then they stop off at the planet.
Mm-hmm.
And then in order to get back on time,
I got this
they go to warp 9.
Yeah.
Isn't warp 9 a bit fast? What's the limit on a galaxy class?
Oh, no, they can go 9-9.
Okay.
But yeah, it's almost like when they first get delayed, I think they're going warp. I think mine was 6 or 7. But I think when there's they're a bit behind for some reason, and they then only go to warp 7 or warp 8.
So why don't they go to warp 9
immediately?
In the first place?
I have no idea.
Does it use up more dilithium?
That was it. At the very beginning, they're going warp 6, and Riker asks, "Oh, how long till Pacifica?" And they go, 22 hours. And he's like, "Anyone mind if we get there early?" No. And he only goes warp 7.
Why would you just go there earlier?
Yeah, go get there really early.
Yeah.
More holiday time. Come on, Riker, put that pedal down.
Why is it that they're all going to such strict schedules that I have to go a certain warp factor to get to my destination?
I assume they have like a chain of orders, like mission. They got like a schedule basically. They got.
Is that why that later in TNG they have that retcon where it's like we only can't go faster than warp 5?
Oh no,
that
was an environmental issue. That was a good episode. I like that episode. Okay, back on the ship.
Yeah.
After they had a little conspiracy talk, I do like Picard does take it seriously, obviously, and when he learns about it, he's told that like here's a conspiracy which is taking over the highest levels of Starfleet. And Walker says, I think it's taken over my first officer and my doctor. Yeah. Over the next, hour or two on the Enterprise, Picard tells basically everyone.
Well, no, but he first goes to the counselor.
He goes to the counselor, and she's like, I don't believe it, it's bollocks, don't tell anyone.
She's telepathic.
Yeah. But then...
Which is, again, poor writing.
Yeah.
Always a case of poor writing for her.
Yeah, but then he kind of tells Data, because he tells Data to go and look for something suspicious in order.
He's the most trustful person in all of the Federation.
Data basically works it out on his own after doing his bit of research. So he tells Data. Then he tells Riker.
Worst person.
I know. And then when like Data comes in and confirms what Picard and Mike were talking
He still
about,
doesn't believe him.
he then like in like then get like a captain's log, and he's like, "I've informed the rest of the bridge crew." You've told everyone. Like if you've got someone on your ship,
spy, it's already a bit too late for that.
Yeah, but I was like, Picard, you don't know how to handle the conspiracy.
I would say also the aliens clearly should have. Why are they not infecting the flagship of the fleet first?
I guess start small, start subtle.
I get that, but they're already in HQ.
Mm.
They are already 3 of the council members of the Federation.
Yeah. Well, if we admirals.
So starting small.
Yeah.
And they are admirals, yeah. They are easier to get.
Because Starfleet and the Federation are different.
Oh, they do mention a line, though, that's probably a reason why, is that the ship has been on the Outer Rim for quite some time, so they have been in contact.
Yeah, they do.
So that's probably a good...
Picard can assume he's safe,
line.
but he shouldn't assume in his kind of conspiracy.
Yeah, exactly. They could have just gone off to any random planet and also had a worm in their minds, or...
I have a niggle.
A niggle.
Always niggle. I don't like the scene where they discover the ship that's been blown up. I think it takes them too long to identify it. Because they see this pile of...
Build up tension and drama.
Yeah, I know. But I think they could have done it better. Because they knew there were 3 ships at that mining planet. So they could have gone, oh no, there's a starship that's been blown up. It's one of the 3 from... And then they'd be like, which one is it? And there could have been tension around, is it the Horatio? Is it the Thomas Paine? Like, that could be... But like them just stood there going, there's some junk in space. What is it? What could it possibly
Tell
be?
me, Worf.
Like, surely like the metal composition, they should...
Well, the engine components, right? You said what class did you say it was? It was...
Armada.
Armada?
I think it's Armada class, yeah.
It'd be pretty obvious because, well, we don't know the class of the other 2. Maybe they're Armada as well. But,
yeah.
But also, though, I actually had the opposite reaction. I liked it. Do you know why?
Why?
Because I saw it like this. That's Picard's last friend is dead. And then you're like, oh, no wonder he doesn't like anyone in the ship, and he doesn't become friends with them for 7 seasons.
Yeah.
Because all of his friends are dead.
He doesn't want to put in more connections, because they might die.
Yeah. There you go. That's why he doesn't play poker with Riker and the crew.
Well, that's much more like he doesn't want to blur that line between commander and friendship.
Sure, but the other guy was his inferior. Picard is the captain of the flagship.
Yeah.
His friend is not.
They're not. Yeah, he's not.
It's not even on the sister ship.
Yeah. You haven't even got a galaxy class.
You're running an Armada class.
Yeah.
Are you running? What missions are you running?
Yeah.
Just trade envoy missions, or?
Well, to be fair, Picard's going to just some pleasure planet for some nonsense, nothing meeting, isn't there? They're doing nothing there. They are.
Well, he likes his conferences on archaeology.
Yeah. Well,
he makes the Enterprise go all the way to a planet so he can go to a archaeology conference. I'm sure they have a mission in the area.
Yeah, but he was so happy about it. He was really happy.
That's why they gave him his yacht.
Which we never see. We never see.
Right.
Go on,
When they return to Earth, there's a great shot of the moon, Earth.
I have the exact same note, basically word for word.
There we go. Yeah, great moon, Earth shot.
Yeah, love the shot of the Enterprise hence Earth over the moon. Yeah. It's just nice.
Yeah,
it's a good.
And I don't think you see that kind of shot again.
No, and that's
for a very long time.
And they're the kind of shots that stand out to me because you don't see them very often.
Yeah, and it's a faith. It's model work, right? So it's real.
I mean, it might be a
backdrop. It's a matte painting, right?
It would have been originally, but now it's been remastered, so it's now just CGI.
Oh, that's probably why it looks better.
Possibly.
Yeah.
But yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
Originally, so FYI, we watched it on the HD remake.
Of course we did.
Well, you have it on DVD, so...
A Blu-ray.
Yeah, okay. Not on the original DVD.
No, on Blu-ray.
Oh, okay. I thought you might have the original.
No, the Blu-ray is...
DVD box sets.
No, the Blu-ray is the remastered.
Okay.
No.
Yeah, but yeah, great shot. Definitely better than the remastered. They put some effort into that shot.
Yeah, it's a good.
And then, of course, the model work is always fantastic.
Always fantastic.
So then they get to Earth.
They do,
and they have a phone call.
They do. I actually kind of like how the admirals and stuff are like, you shouldn't be here, because it's true. Like the flagship should not just be rocking up back to Earth.
They take a long time to question him about it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a good little conversation. I kind of like it. Which cards close to the chest kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean, they kind of set it up in a way that ooh, maybe only one of them.
Yeah,
is
because I
bug,
mentioned about the
or-
Admiral, yeah.
And in the end, yeah, all of them are the bugs. And it's
Yeah.
kind of a bit better if maybe, like, when... I know I'm going to sneak ahead a little, but when they're in that conference room having the dinner, and then he reveals, oh, they're not all bugs.
Yeah,
and there's just one guy who's like, what the fuck?
Yeah. But in that phone call, I didn't like how, like, Troy, she comes up and she's like, someone's hiding something. It's like, come on. Give her better things to do.
All of them are bugs, even the mother bug. Just say, I don't trust this.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, thanks, Troy. We're already aware of that.
Yeah.
Maybe she wasn't talking to Picard enough about
the
conspiracy. They do set it up a bit how they kind of still tried to paint Quinn, because he's a recurring character.
Yes, that's Quinn, Admiral Quinn, yeah.
Yeah, not being
he's going to come to the ship, because then Picard just assumes, he's safe because he's going to come to the ship.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that.
So what do you think of that plot twist? Because obviously it reveals Remek's back, and then Quinn's back, and... Obviously, you're just like, who cares about Remek? He's just some lackey, because I think in the previous show he's kind of like beaten down a bit.
No, I think he's in the episode. I think it's Drumhead, the one where there's like a court martial on the Enterprise. I can't remember very well.
Oh, I think when I was going through the list, I vaguely remember something like
it's a good episode. I've not seen it in many years, but it's a good episode.
But he wasn't like he's a lackey, really.
I think so. I'm not.
And so you wouldn't be like, oh, he's
the big bad.
Yeah. I do like how they reveal that. We'll get to that.
Yeah.
So then you kind of set up like Quinn, a recurring character, they're good friends. The immediate time that, well, obviously, they have that conversation with all three of the council, they go for dinner, and then Quinn immediately comes on board in the teleporter, and he's like, I've got so much vigor! And I'm
vitamins.
Healthy. Vitamins. It's like, well, Picard clearly knows you're bad now. Why would you immediately? Why would you say that? You are an idiot.
Yeah.
And I know already there's a cutaway scene where he's like hiding a bug in a box.
Yeah.
Which is like, why only take one? Yeah. You immediately give away that you're a bad person to the captain of the Enterprise.
I mean, what a better thing to do would have been for Quinn to go up, play all Quinn as he should, go along with Picard.
Yeah.
And bring a lackey with him who's also bugged.
Yeah.
And have him go.
I'm sure that they've done later episodes where they've done something like that, where they've had alien on board with another person. The first person gets captured or identified, and then somebody else is still running around the ship. There must have happened something like that. They learnt their lesson. All the aliens learnt their lesson after this. Yeah. Yes. Did you not notice all of the women and even a man was wearing a skirt?
It's quite common.
Background shots.
It's quite common in the first season. I kind of wish they would keep the skirts around. To be honest,
it was real short shorts.
They were a bit short. They were a bit. But in some ways, they look very silly. But I think that's just the uniform. But I like the idea behind having these different kind of costumes that the characters could wear.
Well, those costumes are surely leftovers from the original series.
I don't think so. I think they're made for this.
For new.
Yeah, I think
Gene Roddenberry.
Yeah, Gene Roddenberry.
I want them in skirts.
Yeah, he wanted like a more utopian society. Thank you. Yeah, and obviously, men can wear skirts. But
yeah, it's the only ever time I think there's a shot of men in the background.
No, but it's in quite.
I only see it once in this episode.
In this episode, but in season 1, it happens quite a lot.
There's a lot more women in these skirts.
It's the same same extras.
Right.
Just walking back and forth.
Didn't they film all of these episodes one after another?
I think
within a space of like a few months.
Yeah, I think so.
Hire a bunch of extras. Yeah, you're going to wear this skirt.
Just walk around
for 30 days and just walk around this set while we film.
Yeah, cool. You'll be fine. I think they bring them back in Lower Decks. I think they're in Lower Decks.
They definitely have the DS9 episode where they go back in time.
Yeah, but they go back to the TOS era, so they wear skirts.
Tribbles.
That's a good episode.
That is a good episode.
But unlike different uniforms, in Lower Decks, they have I think there's a background character or two that are wearing turbans, and I'm like, that's really cool. That's pretty decent. It's the same color as their uniforms. So it's like a gold. I'm like, that's kind of cool. It just works. I'm like, it's just so
interesting. Design of the uniform would be uniform design.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah,
I like when they play around with uniforms a little bit.
Yeah. So Quinn's on the ship.
Can we go to the fight scene?
That's my next comment.
Yeah.
I'm going to lead the listener into that.
Please do.
Because my comment is fighting is bad.
Fighting is really bad, and you can really obviously see him as a stunt guy doing the kicks, and not
the old man.
Not the old man.
I love Riker's 2 foot away spin kick to face.
Really, really high kicks.
Yeah, really.
It's almost like ballet.
But he also only kicks.
It's it's so weird.
It's so weird.
I love it. I think it's amazing. Like, it's so funny.
Do you not find that when he just before the fight, Riker comes in and he's just like, "What's that in the box?" And he's like, I don't know what to say.
Yeah.
It's an alien species we've never identified. Well, I have not seen any records of this. Well, here, shove it in your face."
He could have just said. He could have said
anything.
Anything. Like,
anything.
Just like, sorry, Admiral Secret Order stuff. Sorry, it's for Picard's eyes only. Anything.
Now, it reminds me of a time where I was in America. I was in a bar. I was old enough to drink. Order drinks, obviously. Drinking limit, 21.
Yeah, you're an old man.
Not anymore. Not 21 anymore.
Yeah.
My friend, he was underage, but in the bar with us. Now, that's illegal.
Is that legal?
American
Okay.
listeners.
Yeah.
That is illegal.
Oh, is that legal?
That is illegal.
Oh, who knew?
But the bartender didn't ask him for his license. So we just kept drinking.
Oh,
but then the bartender just came up. It's like, "Do you want to order a drink?" And my friend was just like, his immediate response, he could have said anything. Just drink. I'm good.
Yeah.
Water.
Oh, I see.
And his response was, "I don't have any ID."
Oh my
It's kind of like
God.
the same thing with this admiral. Panic answer.
Yeah. Alarm bells ringing. So that I then assume the barman's like,
"Get out."
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're clearly. Yeah.
You can't be here.
Oh my God.
Could have just stayed and drunk.
You
I mean,
could
he
have.
was 9. He was 20 a few months prior
Was
to
your
it, so
was your friend?
he's British.
Yeah. So he's
Yeah.
from a country where like the
Drinking
the
age
age is
18,
younger.
so
Yeah.
he had drunk way more than me at this point in my life.
Mm.
And so, anyway, that's what I assume is Quinn's panic moment.
Could have done anything.
Especially as it was meant for Dr. Crusher.
He made no effort to get to Crusher. Yeah.
Well, he did call her.
Oh, I suppose he did.
Riker's injured.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, but you
But that was
shoved the...
That was a bit later.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But then she does meant to come. So what's his plan there? Knock Riker unconscious with bad kung fu, and then bring Crusher?
I mean,
Would they not be like...
You say bad kung fu, but it worked.
suspicious?
Yeah.
Well, not for Riker.
No. I like when Worf and Geordi get there. I really like the shot where Geordi gets launched out those doors.
And it's so, cardboard.
Yeah, but it's great. I love it. I think it's fantastic.
Their cardboard doors are so thin.
Yeah. But actually, my favourite part of that scene is Worf's got his butt kicked, Geordi's on the floor, and then Quinn gets shot by Crusher. I love that Crusher comes in and saves the day. Oh, that's so cool.
She was really good in this
episode.
Yeah,
she wasn't in the episode much.
Yeah.
But yeah, she was just like zap, and then she's doing medical stuff. Yeah. Good.
Because it's like, it feels like that story mistake with Quinn was just so that Worf could fight him.
I guess
that Worf has to do something.
I guess they also needed an excuse to have Quinn be unconscious so Crusher can examine him.
Feels weak.
It feels a bit weak.
It feels better if they were just like, they walk in while he's trying to infect Crusher or something, and then respond. That would be a better. But if you have to get Worf and Geordi involved, then I don't know.
Sometimes
awkward.
on TV shows, actors have contractual minimums.
Yeah.
So maybe Geordi and Worf had to be in the episode so
many out. Minutes.
Maybe something like, I don't know. We don't know.
Yeah.
Or maybe they thought it was cool to see Worf get beat up by an old man.
Maybe that's what they were going for.
Maybe that's what they were
to embarrass Worf a bit.
Yeah, take that a peg.
Oh, here's a question. Now again, because Worf is in this fight.
Yeah.
Does it mean Klingons maybe can't get infected? Because the way they set it up is potential implication that might be the case.
Maybe.
Because the way he reacts, it's like, disgust, you Klingon.
Yeah, but maybe it's a case of that they see Klingons as some kind of lower species. It's not worth their time.
He does say we're a superior species.
Yeah, exactly. So, and also for Worf specifically, there'd be no real benefit in taking him over. There are more important people on the ship.
Thinking about the way they react. Because,
maybe.
The alien species would probably not have counted a Klingon yet.
Well, no,
they would have read about them.
It seems like they knew about them. Yeah.
They probably would have read about them, but they probably didn't encounter them because obviously they're not that common in the Federation.
No, not really. No. Well, it'd be ambassadors, I assume.
Yeah. It's probably more than just one.
Yeah, you'd hope so. Yeah.
Though I don't remember any other Klingon apart from Voyager, but she's half Klingon.
What do you mean? Many of Klingons? Loads of Klingons in Star Trek.
Federation, in the Federation.
Oh, in the Federation. Oh, hold on.
In Voyager's the only one, but she wasn't Federation originally. She was part of the rebel groups. Oh my god.
Probing
your knowledge here. On
this I know. I do know how it is. That was I don't know. Yeah,
it's
the
like
rebels.
It's like the primary.
The ones who are fighting the Cardassians.
It's not Bajorans.
No. You know, everyone knows it. The one from DS9. You know,
everyone's gonna be
the one with
Everyone in the comments go, it's this, you idiots. You are so stupid.
Yeah. The one like where Michael Eddington is like Captain Sisko is like fighting against Eddington. Yeah.
You got any more comments on that?
No, my next comments could go down to the dinner scene actually. So if you got anything in between that,
I was actually going to continue just briefly.
No, please go.
To when they do scan Quinn, the graphics. I mean, it's obviously redone for HD remaster, but the 3D graphics scan his head and where the actual bug.
They're pretty good.
Very impressive.
Pretty good. And I also like on the bio bread, like Crusher has like a little stylus pen she's using. I thought that's kind of cool.
Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah,
I like that. Dinner scene.
Are you hungry for some food?
I also realised it's just I thought later onto my notes. I believe it's Captain Scott is the woman who's the traitor. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, she's not really in this episode. Well, she's at the end of it. But we don't.
That spit in the previous on Dilaxby and
I didn't really make notes or pay much attention really to either of those, the Bolian captain or Captain Scott. They're not important.
She's the head honcho. She's the
best.
Honcho.
Yeah.
She's the best.
Yeah.
She's better than Picard. Oh, but she's not infected.
Yes, so that maybe that's why she's better.
Yeah. Now the dinner scene though.
The dinner scene,
is a complete thing. I think. Like, so you've got that scene where they have like canapes. They have like
little flutes of tea.
Flutes. My partner loved those flutes.
They are
very fancy.
Like they don't hold much liquid, but
no,
like
very impractical.
If I was at like some kind of like black tie, even just like relatively fancy event, and I got given, I'd feel
pretty fancy.
I'd be pretty fancy. Yeah.
But I was a question why Picard would even drink it.
He did seem hesitant, didn't he? He was like. Again, he could have feigned any. Like, I don't like this Andorian tea or whatever it was.
Is Andorian tea alcoholic?
I don't think so. Whatever the tea was, he goes, I'm allergic to that. Oh, some bollocks. Anything. Yeah.
And instead he chooses to drink it willingly. That could have been poisoned.
I mean, to be fair, Picard going down to the planet on his own.
Well, also stupid. Surely that violates a number of regulations. Well, I mean, it is to HQ.
It is Earth, so he should be okay.
Should be. Yeah, and then they eat worms.
I
thought Riker was going to go for it.
Me too. Though just before
Jumping ahead,
just before that, they all sit down. Like the Admiral sit down, Picard sits down, and then some random security guard sits down and having dinner with the admirals.
That's a good point.
Like, he's just
Who is this guy?
Just some lieutenant.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I didn't realize. I just thought he was there like as a waiter or like a guard or something. No, I love that he sits down and is like...
Not even mentioned before, has no speaking lines, no name, just a random guy.
Just some guy.
I just like...
He's chowing down.
You're having dinner? I'm just going to butt in and join you.
Eat my worms.
Eat the worms. Very cool scene. Well, I like the talking between all of them, how they... back and forth. It is a bit incoherent, but I do like...
A little bit. Some of it's a little bit filler.
Yeah, it is a bit filler. It's obviously that they're all... aliens at this point.
Yes.
And so it's a bit irrelevant. Picard's response just pushing away the bowl. Well, you expected this. Like, you came down.
Yeah, I don't...
Why are you so upset in this position?
I don't quite know what their plan... Like, why
what's
go...
the plan here, Picard? You have no weapon, like...
But also from their point, like, why are they going for this whole charade of having...
Just infect him.
Yeah, just infect him.
Shove that bug.
Hold him down.
As soon as he arrived.
Yeah.
You shove that bug right in. But instead their excuse was, we like entertainment, you like entertainment.
They like the theatrics. They're very theatrical.
Which is a bit...
Whiff. Yeah.
Whiff. Yeah, Captain Scott comes in. She's the one who killed Walker. Get away. Then Riker comes in. Good Riker performance.
Good, like...
Doesn't throw his leg over the chair, though.
No, so maybe at that point, Picard should have been like, he knows. Like, he should have known, because, Riker just sits down like a normal human being. But yeah, it's because they sort of put a lot of emphasis on Riker, excuse the language, fingering his worms.
Yeah.
He was really playing with his food and going like, because they put so much focus and emphasis on it. I kind of like, I was like, oh, he's not infected. He's obviously on side. Yeah, it's kind of fun. I like how he almost goes for it. I don't know why he has to go so far to get him close to his mouth, but he does.
I just can imagine. Can you imagine Jonathan Frakes just being like, "I'm not going to eat these things."
I reckon he would. I reckon Frakes would.
Yeah.
I reckon
He
he
seems
would.
like he'll eat anything.
Yeah.
But it's also a bit like written funnily, and he's just like Riker just says, "Haha,
Yeah,
evil genius words," and they're like, "Thank you, brother."
Yeah,
That's exactly what I was
I
thinking.
love that because obviously Riker is playing the part, and he's playing it very well because he doesn't actually know what he's walking into. He's walking into a dinner scene, and he just like goes with he sits down, okay, opens his pot of food, it's worms, straight in there. He's playing along, and then you're right, he improvs
What would a supervillain say?
Exactly. I would be way out of my depth. I would get caught immediately.
Yeah. Now, then we have another fight.
We do. It's a very quick,
It's very naff.
pew pew, phaser,
Yeah.
and then quick chase the guy, chase Quinn. Is it Quinn? No, not Quinn. No,
it's the other
the
non-Vulcan.
Yeah.
There's the Vulcan on
Yeah.
the council as well.
Yeah, that's good.
The other old guy who looks like Quinn.
Yeah, and the bug comes out his mouth and it scuttles.
Yeah, but there's
Clearly on a bit of string.
the scene where they dodge the laser beam is so.
Is that?
He turns and fires, and then you can see the point where there was a cut.
Yeah, the actors are told to.
The actor, it's
duck
like
to the side.
Yeah, the scene. It's like beam left.
Yep. Do insert special effect.
Yeah.
Come back. Yeah.
You could see it's like if they just cut it a second or two earlier, it would have been fine.
Well, if that's one of those things, obviously they would probably.
They did
the whole production was learning how to do this,
but they also probably did it quick.
Yeah,
They
probably.
didn't have enough time to we don't have time for retakes.
and again, the little bugs are a bit naff. They're just static.
Yeah,
foam.
and the stop start. You can
Yeah,
see
the
what they've
stop
done is
motion.
they've just been a solid thing.
Yeah,
and they've just moved them
again
an inch at a
really
time.
quickly.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and then you've just basically just cut frame together.
Yes, there's no Jason the Argonauts here.
Yeah.
And then we get Remick in his little command room.
First of all, the bug that comes out of the Admiral.
Oh yeah,
crawls through the door.
Under the door.
Under the door. Yeah. And then is Remick.
Now
Remick, be careful.
There's a bug.
There's a bug.
He's fine.
And he just crawls up his arm.
Now I don't actually know what that room is. It's a very big room with one twirly
one screen,
Dr. Evil chair.
And just a big screen of quadrants.
Yeah, I guess you assume it's some kind of so they can command a high level.
Oh, it's communication.
But there's nothing in there. It's just one chair.
Yeah.
It's a bit of a silly set.
Yeah.
But yeah, then the bug crawls up his shoulder. I actually quite like the bit where it crawled into his mouth. It's a good putting it.
Do you see the stick?
You do see the stick, and it gets an inch into his mouth, cuts back to Picard and Riker, back to him. He's swallowing it.
Yeah,
and
he had to.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
But then his neck bulges. That's really the neck. The neck bulge is good.
Yeah. Well, there was a good effect earlier when they fake. I think it's on Quinn.
Yeah.
They look at the
nodule, the little
fake skin.
Yeah, it's all right. Yeah.
There's a quick cut scene where it's just basically a fake plastic skin, and they have the
little tendril
of the
spike thing
bug coming out. Of it. So that was
good.
Special effects were quite good.
That was all right.
It's remastered, but the actual practical effects.
Well, I don't think they wouldn't have remastered. They wouldn't have redone that effect. They would have just upscaled it. Yeah.
But the practical effects were quite good.
Yeah, they were. And then Picard and Riker share a look. Picard kind of gives Riker the nod. Remick. So yeah, Picard and Riker share a look, and Picard basically gives a little nod to Riker. It's almost like he's leading. He's like, yeah, okay, shoot him. And so Picard does shoot first. I like that. I like that Picard does take that lead. And yeah, we get a very infamous scene in Star Trek where there's this, you said, a body horror. The head does a balloon pop.
It goes to fleshy skull, and then pop.
And there's
the skin, the skin vaporizes back.
Oh yeah,
and you see the skull with the eyes and teeth.
Yeah,
which I don't know. Why would the beam do that? Explicitly, just all the skin, and then explode the head.
I think the implication is this mother creature is kind of enhanced Remick in physically in some way to make him stronger.
Is this actual Remick? like, is Remick a guy before that and he's completely gone now, or is he a
Yes.
host, or is
I assume so, because...
or is it a fake body that the creature's created? Because he's quite large.
No, Remick is real, because Remick was in a previous episode.
But is he infected then? We don't
know. We assume he's real, and he had, like, a Starfleet career and stuff.
I assumed that's when he either was infected in that previous episode. And because then he goes back to headquarters.
It'd be nice to go rewatch it and see, like, if there was any, like, tells then. That'd have been cool.
But maybe not. They probably
but yeah, they pop his head, and then his chest kind of opens up, and there's, like, it looks a bit like Predator, the head.
Tiny.
A very small Predator on that end of a worm.
I think the design's quite good, actually.
It's pretty good. It's not bad.
I like it. You know, it's like that newt that you find in a cave. You know, the ones with the like frilly ears and wide face.
Axolotls. Yeah, they're cool. Yeah.
It's also pink.
Yeah, the axolotls are cuter than whatever this thing was.
Yeah, this is not.
Yeah, and then that's kind of it. And they basically wrap it up a little bit, and there's like, they're sending a message to another galaxy, and they're going to be this big bad boogeyman, and then never mentioned ever again in Star Trek, which is a shame.
I think there's potential in that, but
there's
again,
potential.
I think the body horror element of it is probably the biggest, probably the thing that killed it long term, because we never see that again.
No,
I don't think there is any other episode in Star Trek where it's that sort of level of body horror.
I wonder if you're right. Maybe this was originally planned to be the season final, and they were like put a big budget in this.
So why would you end on the cryo one?
Well, assuming this one got made, and then the studio were like, "Yeah, no, this is crap. This can't really do another season final." And then the cryogenics one's just like a random episode.
It just feels like there was that that cryogenics episode, maybe a middle season.
No, definitely. Episode. So it feels like the studio may have like stepped in and been like, "No,
we can't end on this.
This is too. We're not ending on this. Yeah. This is not what we want Star Trek to be."
It's very weird.
Sometimes studio involvement is a good thing.
Probably good for this case, because it led to a very good long-term trajectory for...
We get the Borg.
Though I think they could have done something with this alien if they definitely could come back to it. But it is surprising that they don't ever touch on body horror as a thing.
No, they
ever
don't.
Again,
no.
Even though it is an element in a lot of sci-fi, and it's not touched upon. I mean, I think the closest you get to is when, probably in First Contact, where the Borg, it's very insidious. That is
some
horror.
Good stuff there.
Yeah, there's some quite insidious when the Borg are basically
taking over the crew.
People.
Yeah.
And that's probably the closest body horror you can get. Or when the Queen, and you just see its spine flapping around. Like, that's probably...
There's no body horror as such, but there's like some torture throughout Star Trek as well. Does that reasonably often, which is not body horror, but it's also can be pretty distressing. That kind of comes to the end of my set notes. What else you got?
Yeah, I mean, it's like my last note here is, I mean, Remick sends the message, but it's never followed up, and I've put maybe the Borg.
Oh, maybe.
Is it? Could you justify this somehow as linked to the Borg?
I think it's too late now. I think there's now been too much Borg to do that, but they could have made this the Borg, and
you could, or more than like this could have been some sort of biological weapon that the Borg created, and because at the end Remick's sending that signal to unknown part of space, which would be Borg.
Yeah.
So, but then of course you have later on the story about we need the coordinates for Earth anyway, and so it doesn't make any sense from that perspective.
And obviously these aliens are too independent to be Borg.
Yeah, they don't have Borgy bits.
No, they don't have Borgy bits.
I just thought it was like that's basic, that sort of element of that sending the beacon is taken back.
When they did the Borg, they took a lot of elements from this idea and just remade it.
Well, overall,
let's do it.
It's quite good.
Let's do rapid review. Give me like a final thoughts.
Rapid review. I thought it was excellent.
Excellent. Good.
It's a wild season.
It is a wild season.
This is definitely a wild. I would claim a season finale. Would you recommend what people watch this as the finale as opposed to the cryogenic people one?
Nah, I don't tend to like you should do this or do that.
It's got a cliffhanger though.
Yeah,
like, if you want a cliffhanger,
but the cliffhanger doesn't actually go anywhere. It just stays hung.
It's fine. Yeah.
I don't say you should watch X, Y, Z. Just like watch kind of whatever you want to, however you want to. Yeah. If you was to rate this on an IMDb scale.
So, am I rating it personally? Or
Personally.
I think people would rate it?
Personally. And in more recent Warpath episodes, me and Tom have been tried to break outside of the meta of IMDb, because most things on IMDb fall somewhere between 6 and 8. So I've tried to, like, something bad, really bad is like, a 5.5. Something really good is like an 8.2 or an 8.5. So I've been trying to, like, if it's really bad, I don't like it, I'm going to give it a 2 or 3.
So what's a 10 episode?
I don't know yet. I've not come across it.
That's how... Worst episode, Crusher and the Ghost.
Yeah, probably something like
probably is like
Shades
a
of
3
Grey
or a 4.
something.
That would be like a 3 or a 4.
I did
Best episode, what? The Borg? That's a 10? Is it a 10? Can you justify it as a 10?
Yeah, I don't know. I'll have to give it a bit of thought. But like,
I scaling.
I did recently give an episode. We did some short treks, and I gave one of those a 2. So I really didn't like it. Anyway, so yeah.
Bad, then.
So yeah, me and Tom are trying to break outside that IMDb meta. But if you want to go, you know what it'd be like. Basically,
I'm thinking 8.5.
8.5. That's really high.
Yeah,
that's
I'm
really
thinking
good.
8.5. It is a very good episode. It's interesting. I just wish they had done more of the alien.
I love it when this happens. I disagree.
Wow. Okay. You hate it.
No, I didn't hate it. I like it. I just don't think it was amazing. I don't think the conspiracy was that compelling, and I'm not that fussed really about the aliens. I don't think they had that much potential. I don't think they could have been, like, they were the Borg essentially. So I don't think they were that. They're not really. They didn't do it for me.
It's interesting because
so
apparently this is one of 3 primetime Emmy Award.
I mean, but
this episode.
But what categories were those Emmys in? They could be in like special effects, which it nailed.
That was yeah.
You know what I mean?
I mean, of course we are watching.
Or like editing or sound. You could be in it. Yeah, who knows?
But I mean,
Wikipedia would know.
Well, I guess we'll find out when there's the IMDb rating.
Well, my IMDb rating, it was fine. It was not. So I'm gonna. Yeah, I was gonna go a solid 6. Just
6. Really? That's so low.
It's pretty low. It's pretty low because it was fine. I did enjoy it. I enjoyed going back to season 1 TNG.
Yeah.
And there were some bits that I really enjoyed, but overall, it was more like I didn't really care much for the aliens, and I didn't really care much for the conspiracy. So the 2 big points of the episode.
How many times have you watched this episode?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe like 5 or 6 over like.
I guess
ever.
If you've watched it that much, maybe it's less.
Maybe
it's the second time for me.
Yeah, maybe that's it.
And coming back after quite say a good few years and rewatching it, and this is the first TNG of season 1 I've watched after a long time. I was pretty hyped by it.
That's always a thing to consider. Is
and I thought it came off quite well.
No,
especially considering the choices.
Yeah,
Farpoint. But that's just too classic.
Yeah. Because you initially chose Farpoint, and I was like, because you didn't even look at the list. I was like, no, go and look at the episode list and choose again.
Yeah.
Not choose again, but if you wanted to do Farpoint, we could on Farpoint. But I thought, you're just going on a gut reaction.
I think I sent you. I can't find it.
I can't remember. Yeah,
I think it was like 7, 6, 3 or something like this. It was like short.
When you started looking down the list, you actually you started to jump around a bit. So obviously, it was cool. Because there's some interesting episodes.
Yeah.
Right. But now we need to find out what it actually got on IMDb. So the actual IMDb score, 8.1.
Oh, I was close.
It's really high. What did you say, 8.5?
I said 8.5.
8.5,
yeah.
So yeah, it is actually considered by the fans a good episode.
Yeah. A lot of the Wikipedia article, continuously you go down of reception, and it's just constantly list after list after list, ranking it as one of the top episodes of all time. The bright sparks of season 1, etc., etc.
Yeah, really? Wow.
Yeah, it was interesting. I was surprised you got so negative.
I mean, like, some things sometimes just don't land with you, and like other times, something like really connects you. Yeah. So that's okay. I don't mind. I'm still happy with my score because that's what I thought.
Yeah.
But no, props to you for getting pretty close to the actual score. So like in an IMDb world, anything over an 8 is really good.
Yeah, I had no idea how. Before going into this, and before literally Googling it 5 minutes ago, having already given my rating, I had I thought this was like an episode that fans would just sort of either forgot about, didn't care for.
Yeah.
But it turns out it's actually one of the most popular ones.
Yeah, I would, if you'd asked me for like, give me like top 10 fan favourites, this would not be on that list.
Yeah.
Like, no. Oh, well, the more you know.
Yeah, the more you know.
Excellent. Well, that was fun. I enjoyed that. Okay, so that was our bonus episode. we are going to do another one because Jacob has a bit more time and Jacob likes doing these, so we're going to do another one. I also gave Jacob another choice. I said to Jacob, you could, again, we could randomly select a show, season, or episode. So this time, Jacob so he said he would select the season with a random episode and a random show. So the random show was Discovery, which Jacob was very happy about. So which season did you choose, Jacob?
So I had a choice of 1 to 5.
You did.
I chose 4.
You chose 5.
I chose 5. Yes. Now, okay, I chose 5. This is why I was confused.
Yeah.
I don't know. Go back and listen to previous episode where I talk about my introduction to Star Trek and how I hate most of the new Trek, and Discovery. Not even touched. Didn't even bother. I think I would hate it. So I just knew from osmosis in the zeitgeist that the later seasons are the better ones.
I personally agree with that.
So I thought, if I did one, probably going to get a very negative reaction. I could quite like to try to enjoy it at least. So it goes the latest season as possible, at the risk of this is the end. And there's a lot of story beats that I've missed on.
But then if you've never seen season 1, you won't have seen what the characters were and now what they are. But there will be some things you won't know, but that's fine. But
we'll see. So episode was...
Great question. Hold on. So the episode we randomly selected from season 5 was episode 7, Eriga. Which, yes, I don't know like the newer Trek names, any of them.
You watched this before?
I have watched it before. I have seen season 5, but I don't remember the episode.
You would come back to it, or?
Pardon?
Would you come outside of this?
Yeah.
Would you come back to it?
I do. I would actually like to give all of Discovery a rewatch because I've not seen season 1 or 2 or anything like that for like quite a while since it first came out, and I reckon I'd enjoy it more on my second watch. I think I would. I didn't particularly like season 1. I wasn't particularly pumped for season 2 when it came out, but it got better.
Yeah. Again, why I picked 5.
I don't know how much you know about Discovery, but Discovery was set in season 1 and 2 in
the past, right?
In the past, like just before Kirk.
Yeah.
And then stuff happens in season 2, and then they go to the future.
The idea of the spore drive just fundamentally...
It actually grows on me. And actually the design and style of Discovery, the ship, is really good. I mean, I actually really like it.
We can talk about it.
We will.
It's very like modern. What's the Alex Kurtzman
New Trek?
But it's got the universe name.
Oh,
what is it called?
I don't know.
In the comments, please.
Yeah, let us know.
Stupid. It's got its own. It's got its own name of universe, but it's very much of that new Trek. Just independently, I separately rewatched the 2009 Star Trek movie.
Oh yeah,
and I love it. But
me too. I love the movie. That movie's
really
great.
good.
Yeah,
but that whole style and the modern really ties into the TV series.
I mean, here's the thing: is like you can't, even though the Discovery was set before Kirk's Enterprise, you can't expect it to look like the original series. Like TNG, DS9, Voyager, they look different to the original series. You can't expect the shows to remain the same. They're going to look different. It's artistic license. It doesn't matter.
Sure.
And as long as it still looks good.
I just like the idea. The idea of like make the ships sort of, instead of like further futuristic, and it gets more and more futuristic as you progress in time, do the opposite. It gets more and more 60s.
A bit of regression, yeah.
Yeah, a regression, but it's more in style, not in technological aspect. I just thought that would be a clever way to do it.
You
but
could do,
but
again,
like to modernize it to more modern audience. But...
Yeah, any TV, like obviously it's for Star Trek fans, but also it has to try and bring in new fans, of course. And I have no idea if it's done that or not. I assume it has. So I like Discovery. I don't remember this episode. I guess we'll say, we should do a little. I always do like a little synopsis, a little quick thing. With Mole and Lark in custody, the Federation is pulled into a diplomatic and ethical firestorm when the Breen demand they be handed over. Meanwhile, Booker looks for ways to help Tilly, Adira, and Reno work to decipher the last clue. I do remember some of this stuff.
Now,
Go for
You
it.
said the Breen.
I did say the
I
Breen.
like the Breen.
The Breen come back
the
in season
Breen
5.
are
Yeah.
a cool race from DS9.
How many spoilers would you like now about? Because I kind of know the overarching story of season 5.
Yeah, I don't care.
Okay, because one of
I'm never going to watch
one of the main
outside of this podcast.
One of the main plot points in season 5 is a big callback to a TNG episode.
Okay.
Do you remember the TNG episode where Picard goes on a little archaeological adventure and discovers that there's a common ancestor to all the races?
That was so bad.
I liked it. That was a great episode. But do you remember the episode?
Yeah.
That's this series. They find more tech from that alien species,
right.
and there's a race. It must be between the Breen and whoever, in the Federation. Go and get. That's what the clues are. They're they're going clues, finding clues to find this tech to save the universe or whatever they're doing. So
I'm more amenable to this now. This is starting to sound a bit more.
Yeah, it's actually really cool, and I don't know what episode it was. It was an episode where in Discovery where they have a shot of Picard and they say from the episode. It's it's kind of cool. Yeah, so I liked it.
Names are a bit weird though. Mole and Lol.
Mol and Lark. Yeah, they're
Mol and Lark. Oh, okay. Very generic.
I don't know who's who, but it's one of them is Breen, someone or other, someone important Breen. And it's like a Romeo and Juliet. She's a human, so they're kind of got
this
together.
This is in the future.
Yeah, we're in now the 29th century.
So it's 20. When was the Dominion War? Is that 24th or 25th?
Yeah, 24th century.
Yeah, so it's
no, sorry, it was 900. Discovery jumps 900 years in the future from the 23rd century.
To the 30th.
So quite a while.
Okay, so it's 600 years after the Dominion War.
Yes.
Right.
So
what happened to the Breen? They lost.
They did lose, but then you can recover in 600 years. That's pretty. Yeah, that's enough time to recover.
I would be interested if they dive into what happens to the Breen after the Dominion War.
Yeah,
that would be interesting if that. Talk about that in this episode.
Well, yeah, might be some nice little callbacks. I remember
the design of ship. I would like to see the ship designs and the costumes.
Yeah. And that stupid crackly voice that
clearly the
radio static.
Yeah, but it was clearly very inspired by the Star Trek Return of the Jedi
it was
Princess Leia costume.
Yeah. Do you know, I never made that connection. It is exactly that bounty. Yeah. Amazing. Wow. Good callback. Yeah, love that. So that's what we're going to be watching. So now obviously we've not done the episode selections we normally do. They did it off mic. So if you want to watch it, you can join us next time. We'll do that. Thank you for listening into Warp Factor Unknown. I've been your host, Dan, and I've been joined by my co-host, Jacob.
Hello.
No, say goodbye. That might stay.
You keep that in.
Yeah,
keep that in.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you're here, Jacob, today. Yeah, nice to be here today.
I'm off. Bye. Yes, thank you for having me, Dan. That's been fantastic.
It's good to have you as always.
Yeah.
Today we talked about the Star Trek Next Generation episode Consipracy from Season 1. Join us next time as we go to Discovery, Jacob's favourite, and we talk about the episode Erika from Season 5, Episode 7. Until then, thank you for your continued support. If you would like to contact us, please email us at warpfactorunknown@outlook.com. That is warpfactorunknown@outlook.com. You can leave us comments on Spotify and YouTube and anywhere else. Don't forget to thumbs up, like, share, all that stuff. Actually, sharing is really important because that's how people actually listen to it. The music we use this podcast is called Starfleet Command by Jeff Harvey.